Right now, you are not in silence. Even if you think you are. There is always something happening around you, maybe the low hum of a fan, the distant pressure of traffic, the faint electrical noise of devices that never truly switch off. Your brain is not experiencing quiet. It is experiencing controlled noise. And that is exactly why this matters more than you think, because the moment real silence arrives, your brain does something unexpected. It reacts like something is wrong. Not emotionally. Not logically. But biologically. Your nervous system was never designed for perfect silence. It was designed for survival in environments where sound meant life. For almost 300,000 years, human beings lived in a world where silence was not normal. It was rare. And when it happened, it often meant one thing. Something has stopped moving, or something is waiting. Your ancestors didn't think in words like you do. They didn't analyze silence. They felt it. Deeply. Instantly. Because in nature, sound is not background, it is proof of safety. Birds calling in the distance meant the ecosystem was stable. Leaves rustling meant the wind was still moving naturally. Insects humming meant the world was functioning as expected. But when all of it stopped, the brain did not interpret that as peace. It interpreted it as danger. This is where something inside you becomes interesting. Deep in your brain exists a structure called the amygdala. You don't control it. You don't negotiate with it. It works faster than thought itself. Its job is simple: detect threat before you even understand it. And it does not only respond to loud explosions or visible danger. It also responds to something much more subtle: the absence of expected sound. This is called an omission response. Meaning your brain is constantly building a prediction of what your environment should sound like. A kind of invisible audio map running in the background of your awareness. Fan noise. Room tone. Distant movement. Human activity. Life. Now imagine that map suddenly breaks. No warning. No transition. Just nothing. The brain does not say, silence. It says something else. It says, something has changed. And in evolutionary terms, sudden unexplained change was rarely safe. Your heart rate shifts before you even notice. Your attention narrows. Your body becomes slightly alert, as if preparing for something that has not yet revealed itself. You may not consciously feel fear, but your system already has. This is why complete silence feels uncomfortable to so many people today, not because they are weak, but because their biology is still running an ancient survival program in a modern world. And here is where it becomes even more interesting: you don't need a jungle or a forest for this to activate. Even in a modern room, if everything suddenly goes quiet, TV off, fan stopped, no movement, and no background noise, your brain does not relax. It scans. It searches. It listens for what should be there but isn't, because for most of human history, when sound disappeared, something dangerous was usually close enough that it didn't need to move anymore. And your brain has not forgotten that pattern, not even a little. It still reacts to silence like a message it has learned too well, a message that once meant, pay attention. Something is near. And this is where modern life quietly rewires your behavior without you noticing. You don't sit in silence anymore. Not really. The moment things get quiet, you fix it. Instantly. Almost automatically. You turn on a fan. You play a video. You start a podcast. You let a TV run in another room just for background noise. You call it habit. But your brain experiences it as something else entirely. It experiences it as restoring safety signals. Because silence is not neutral to your nervous system. It is ambiguous. And ambiguity, for a survival-based system, is not comfort, it is risk. This is why even at night, many people cannot sleep in complete quiet. The room must have something alive in it. A consistent sound. A predictable rhythm. Something that tells the brain, nothing is changing. Nothing is approaching. You can lower your guard. Without that, the brain continues scanning. Not consciously, but continuously. And here is something even deeper. Your brain does not only fear silence in nature. It also links silence with something social. For most of human history, humans did not survive alone. Survival was a group function. And in a group, sound was connection. Talking meant presence. Movement meant awareness. Noise meant life inside the group. So when sound disappeared from people around you, it was not just environmental change. It was social uncertainty. And social uncertainty in ancient environments often meant something dangerous had happened. Someone was injured. Someone had left. Something had gone wrong. This is why even today, in a quiet elevator, people feel an invisible pressure. No one speaks. No one signals. No one confirms safety through interaction. So what happens? People reach for their phones. Not because they are bored, but because they are restoring a sense of signal presence in the environment. Something familiar. Something predictable. Something that tells the brain, you are still connected. Nothing is wrong. Now think about your own life. How often do you deliberately choose silence? Not background silence. Real silence. No noise. No media. No sound layer to cover the room. For most people, the answer is uncomfortable to even think about. Because silence removes distraction and also removes the illusion of constant safety cues. And when those cues disappear, your brain does what it was designed to do. It becomes alert. It listens harder than necessary. It scans deeper than logic requires. It starts interpreting nothing as something. Not because reality has changed, but because the system that interprets reality is ancient. And it was built for a world where silence rarely lasted long, unless something had already finished moving. So when you finally experience a truly quiet moment, what you are feeling is not peace in the way modern language describes it. It is your survival system checking a memory that has been active for hundreds of thousands of years. A memory that says, if everything is silent, make sure you are not the only thing left making noise inside your own head.